Athens is one of the most important cities in Western civilization. It is so diverse, from its history to local food. For example, I associate this city with Athens' philosophical school of thought. That is why I decided to make this video about the most important points of interest connected to philosophy. The philosophy from ancient Greek language means the love of wisdom, so it's logical to start the tour from the Acropolis, which mostly was dedicated to the worshipping of Athena, the goddess of warfare and wisdom. As the patron deity of Athens, Athena embodied the city's values of intellect, strategy, and civic responsibility, which were essential not only in military matters, but in governments, art, and philosophy. The Parthenon, the grand temple at the heart of the Acropolis, symbolized Athena's protective and guiding role over the city, serving as a reminder of the importance of wisdom in both public and private life. It's an ancient agora, the old city center where all cultural life was concentrated. Exactly on these streets, Socrates liked to ask locals challenging questions about life. Sometime later, he was imprisoned and also killed for corrupting the youth. Also here I recall about Diogenes. He is the founder of Cynicism. He was questioning social norms and not following them at all. He didn't have house and proper clothes. He had only one cup to drink water and eat food, but after he saw that some child drinks water from their hand, he threw it away as well. On the streets of Agora, he was walking with a small light, looking for the honest man. Maybe difficult to believe, but here in the middle of the park with children who are playing, the Plato Academy was established. It was the first higher educational institution at that time. Before that, people were getting just basic elementary education at school. But the rise of democracy and need for people who can think critically emerged the idea of creating some academy like that. Plato established the academy around 387 BC, after his travels to Egypt and Italy. After that, it continued for nearly 900 years. The academy attracted a range of brilliant minds, many of whom would go on to become famous philosophers in their own right. Among the most notable students were Aristotle, Sisyphus, and Xenocrates. One more interesting fact: at the entrance of this academy was written, "Only geometrists can enter." There is no single explanation to this phrase, but probably it can be explained by the fact that Plato himself was inspired by Pythagorean school. Plato was deeply influenced by Pythagoras, particularly in his physical cosmology. Though it's true Plato inherits from the Pythagoreans an interest in mathematics, Plato was more concentrated on geometry. And already here you can see ruins of one more educational institution. It was Aristotle's Lyceum, and as Aristotle himself was Plato's pupil, these two educational institutions were competing with each other. Aristotle established the Lyceum in 335 BC after his return to Athens from Macedonia, where he had tutored Alexander the Great. It was also a gymnasium, which means that here people were exercising and doing some sports. Also, this school was famous for peripatetic method of teaching. Aristotle himself was given lectures by having a walk with his student, and that's why there are a lot of walk roads here. I personally find this method pretty cool because by walking you increase your blood circulation, and it gives you some energy and bright thinking. Here I left a summary of the main differences between two academies. People say that Socrates was imprisoned here. Some people do not believe in this fact, and they actually think that he was imprisoned in ancient city Agora. One of more important questions is why actually Socrates was imprisoned. And the fact is he was too annoying for locals and he was walking on the streets asking questions about, I don't know, wisdom, knowledge, life. And of course, the government sometimes doesn't like it. We can actually understand in modern times as well why government do not like intellectual people. So it's like a reminder for us that we should stay critical, but sometimes it can have very sad consequences. We should be brave enough for that.
During his trial, Socrates defended himself by questioning the wisdom of his accusers and asserting that his mission was to encourage the citizens of Athens to seek truth and virtue. After being convicted, Socrates was given the opportunity to escape from prison with the help of his followers. However, Socrates refused, choosing to respect the laws of Athens. Socrates was sentenced to die by drinking hemlock, a poison. Areopagus Hill. It is called after the god of war, the Ares, and traditionally associated with philosophical discussions and judicial proceedings. One of the most significant moments tied to the Areopagus was the visit of St. Paul the Apostle. In his speech, he introduced the concept of the Christian God and challenged their polytheistic beliefs. His speech on the Areopagus marked one of the earliest moments of Christian preaching in Greece and contributed to the spread of Christianity in the ancient world.
The city of Athens was a motherland of democracy, and this area, the Pnyx, is a typical area where orator was talking to the publicity and where important political discussions or other debates were taking place. It's impressive. It has the overview of Athens, and you feel here a little bit empowered to make some changes.
Citizens met here to debate and vote on important matters of state, making it a cornerstone of the development of democratic principles. Of course, modern Athens is a world apart from its ancient version. Today, the air is filled more with the buzz of tourism than the deep thoughts. But it still was visiting for those who love to experience beyond the surface, who seek to connect with the past and experience a city whose history shaped the modern world.